Here are today's top stories. Find out how teddy bears and backpacks are benefiting Rutherford County children.
Could the key to defeating the thyroid issue be hidden away in our minds? Stay tuned to find the answer.
And it almost happened 5 years ago, but now boxing fans finally get to see the super fight they've long waited for. All those stories and more, your news starts right now.
Live from Studio 2 in the College of Mass Communications from the campus of Middle Tennessee State University, this is the News 3 Report.
Thank you for joining us this Tuesday afternoon for the EMC News Report. I'm Brandon Moore.
And I'm Jeremy Inslee. You're tuned into the best 30 minutes of your day. An MTSU organization has created a campaign that is changing children's lives with just a backpack and a teddy bear. We have Brooke Grimsley's live in the newsroom with more. Brooke.
Members of the Golden Key International Honor Society says it takes only one stuffed animal to help bring joy to children who have been removed from bad living situations. We went to Sam's Club in Murfreesboro, where society members and the Sheriff's Department have partnered together to help bring more joy to these children.
We just really want to be a big support and jump on board, especially to help children. When children's involved, it's very important to the Sheriff's Department.
Deputy Greg Speck, along with other Rutherford County officers and the MTSU Golden Key International Honor Society, have kicked off a campaign to benefit local children called Teddy Bears and Backpacks. This campaign gives stuffed animals, backpacks, and donations to support local displaced children.
When I started out in the patrol division, they used to issue us backpacks and teddy bears, but it kind of went away. So in the last few years, I've not been able to do this, so it's an honor to me to be on board.
Laura Kissel and other members of Golden Key recognize the need for this campaign through their internship at the Department of Children's Services, where they have seen children move from their home because of bad living situations.
A lot of the children have to leave their homes with nothing, especially if they're in a home where they've been drug exposed.
Together, the Golden Key Society and officers have been collecting backpacks, teddy bears, and donations since April 18th and have been trying to reach a goal of 1,000 backpacks.
For your contribution.
Officers will be the ones handing out the items to the children. And to the members of the Golden Key, all of their hard work will be worth it.
I see these children firsthand. I know how a stuffed animal just lights up their face.
Jeremy and Brandon, I was told that as of today, Teddy Bears and Backpacks has raised more than $1,500 in donations and gift cards. They'll be announcing later this week when the campaign ends if they reach their donation goals for backpacks and the teddy bears.
Thanks, Brooke. The campaign ends April 30th. If you would still like to donate, we have a full list of locations to drop off items at our website. Just visit emcnews3.com. The man accused of shooting his neighbor early this morning has surrendered to police. Rutherford County Sheriff Robert Arnold said police surrounded the man's home on Cedar Bucket Road in Reedyville, and he came out talking with the lieutenant. He was taken into custody for allegedly shooting his neighbor after an argument. The victim was taken to Stones River Hospital with serious injuries before he was life-flighted to Vanderbilt University Medical Center. The suspect is at Rutherford County Sheriff's Office for questioning.
The police are asking for the public's help finding two people who were shot in Murfreesboro Complex apartment Sunday morning. Dartavius Brittenham and Trevaeus Miller, both 19, were shot several times outside of University Gables on South Rutherford Boulevard near MTSU around 1:30 Sunday morning. Both were taken to Vanderbilt University Medical Center and treated for serious injuries. According to the police report, they were found in the parking lot along with two cars damaged by gunfire. They're listed in stable but serious condition. If you have any information about the shooting, call Murfreesboro Police at 893-2717.
Well, police are still looking for the person who led them on a high-speed chase across 2 counties yesterday morning. A state trooper was patrolling a construction zone on I-24 in Coffee County when he clocked a silver Lexus going 103 miles per hour. The trooper then tried to pull the car over, but the driver didn't stop. Murfreesboro Police and Rutherford County Sheriff's officers were called to help as speeds reached over 120 miles per hour. They laid spike strips down at exit 81 in Murfreesboro. The driver hit them and then went off onto the shoulder. The suspect then ran from the car at South Church Street near Larry Stone's Sand Equipment. If you have any information, call the THP at 251-1051.
According to the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, overall crime in Tennessee is down. Overall serious offenses, Group A, dropped a little more than 2%, and the lesser Group B offenses dropped almost 3% in 2014, but reported murders increased almost 10% and DUI arrests almost 1%. Domestic violence offenses made up more than 50% of all crimes against people in 2014.
Well, a Mid-State County received some threatening news last week. News 3 James Cotton has more on the situation.
Terror struck Williamson County as a series of bomb threats were made known.
I was worried.
As many worried about the situation, parents began to scramble to ensure their children were okay.
When we made the call to our parents, they immediately came up to the school.
Some students, like Lakeisha Claybrooks, a senior at Ravenwood High School, did not believe that her school was as well prepared as they should have been when it came to protecting their lives.
It's very unorganized, to be honest, because no one knew what was going on.
However, Dr. Cindy Davis, an assistant principal at Prairie Creek Elementary School in Franklin, Tennessee, thought considering the circumstances, her school did a good job handling the situation.
But once it started happening to the high schools, we were more confident. Because once you go through it and you see what it's like, then you know what you need to tighten up.
Lakeisha's father, Lamont Claybrooks, said he was a little nervous when he received the call.
Like, what is going on? And first thing I thought about was my daughter. How safe were they and what was going on?
However, even though he was sure she was in good hands, he wanted to make sure.
But I thought I'd better call just to see. And so I texted her and everything, and she texted back and said she was okay.
Now, schools constantly practice fire drills, tornado drills, and lockdown drills on a regular basis. But should they practice bomb threat drills?
I think it is good to practice because, like I told you before, you don't really know what it's like until you've been in that situation.
Now, Williamson County schools had the situation under control, but at the end of the day, officials want students to.
Okay.
Now, arrests have been made in connection with the Williamson County school bomb threats. Thanks, James. Well, we have more updates on the story of Rutherford County Sheriff Robert Arnold's involvement with the selling of electronic cigarettes in his jails. So far, Sheriff Arnold is still standing by his statement that he sees nothing unethical about his involvement with E-Cig Company, but others are seeing it differently. Within the past week, the Rutherford County's Ethics Committee has met to discuss the issues against Arnold and decided to hire an attorney to further investigate. Last Friday, Sheriff Arnold placed Chief Deputy Joe Russell and Detective Bill Sharp on administrative leave. Russell was a part owner in the E-Cig Company. Some local residents like Justin Bayless see Arnold's situation as shady.
This casts a really bad shadow. When you don't know, you're left in the dark, and then you find out like this, it makes it look even worse.
The TBR also confirmed last week that they will be investigating this case and Sheriff Arnold's involvement.
Almost all high school teachers across the nation are now teaching to the same standards. High schools around the nation, just like Greenbrier, have adopted the Common Core standard of teaching. Common Core sets academic standards with grade-specific goals that define what students are expected to know and be able to do by the end of a given grade. A contributing factor to the Tennessee adopting the Common Core was due to in 2011, only 15% of students graduated at college-ready level. Though Common Core is aimed to help students, some teachers feel like it is contending with their teaching styles and leads them to be judged by test scores.
It seems that more and more of our lessons and our evaluations are predicated upon data.
The goal of Common Core is to make sure that all students learn the skills needed to be successful after graduation.
There's more to healing than just pills and prescriptions. I attended a seminar that appealed to a few different ways of healing.
Strengthen their spirit, strengthen their mind, strengthen their bodies. But not so that they
Spirituality is a part of the healing process at the Maximized Living Health Center, which is why the physician at the center made it a point of emphasis at the seminar.
diseases in the body are really a manifestation of our thought life and the stress that we deal with. So that's where our spirituality comes in, because our spirituality or our spirit controls and supersedes our mind or our soul.
The doctor has been helping people for a long time and has a passion for it, especially after a family member dealt with health issues.
Brother who was sick growing up with different conditions, one of them asthma, another one migraine headaches. He has several others, but that experience with my family that opened my eyes to see more of an alternative way to health.
Autoimmune and thyroid problems don't just affect the elderly, they affect those early in life as well.
I've actually been suffering from a thyroid problem for maybe about 11 years now. It started off with the Graves' disease, and then I was treated for that by doctors, and it eventually turned over into hypothyroidism.
There was a lot to learn at the summit, and some people learned more than what they intended to.
We breathe and take in the environment of our home, from personal care items, the things that we wash our hair with, and makeup that we use.
A lot of information was given at the summit, such as
the majority of people in our country deal with hypothyroidism. You're looking at more like 90%, which is an underactive thyroid.
But there is one thing above everything else that the doctor wants people to take away.
Hope, because their body heals itself. The greatest truth that I have to share with people is that your body heals itself.
Reporting for MTSU News 3, I'm Jeremy Inslee. The doctor plans to hold more of these events, so if you know anybody that suffers from these conditions, they can find the health center information on our website at emcnews3.com.
Still to come on the News 3 report, the protests in Baltimore continue today. Shanice Murray will have the latest in your world news.
And later, we'll have how you can stay safe as the peak of tornado season approaches.
$7,000 high school students drop out every school day. Let's catch them before it's too late. To start helping students in your community, visit boostup.org.
Hi, my name's CJ. A few years ago, my father became seriously ill. I did what I could do before he passed, but it took its toll. I lost my job, my house. I'm getting back on my feet, but I don't know when there'll be food on the table. How'd I do, CJ?
We could be twins.
Well, cousins, maybe.
Play a role in ending hunger. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Jack Frost, you do have beautiful teeth.
My what?
Are they really as white as they say? Yes. Oh, they really do sparkle like freshly fallen snow. This is an excellent example of what teeth should look like. Check out the iridescence of that incisor, the beauty of that bicuspid, the magnificence of those molars. And the best way to achieve such terrific teeth is brushing. 2 minutes, twice a day. Not 30 seconds, not a minute 45. 2 minutes. That's all it takes. They're beautiful.
Guns will now be allowed in parks. Governor Bill Haslam signed into law last Friday that no local government from banning people with gun permits from carrying one in parks. The bill was amended to restrict guns in parks when there is a school event in the park. Nashville Mayor Carl Dean has criticized the bill, but he said he'll work with the city's legal department to better understand the bill. Supporters say this law protects the nation's Second Amendment. Opponents say mixing guns with children may lead to tragic accidents. National parks have allowed gun permit holders since February 2010.
A flood has taken the lives of many, and the life taken of a 25-year-old man has one city in uproar. News 3 reporter Shanice Murray has your world in 2 minutes.
On Monday, a day that expected peace and mourning got the exact opposite. Protests were overtaken by rioters upset with the treatment of Black lives. In Baltimore, family and friends of Freddie Gray laid the 25-year-old to rest after he was arrested and killed in the custody of police officers. On that very same day, one of the worst riots since the 1960s broke out. Looters took over the city, burning businesses, cars, and apartments. More than 24 arrests were made and 15 police officers were injured. The governor has now issued a state of emergency, which took effect Tuesday and will last for 1 week, imposing a mandatory curfew from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. The National Guard and troops were brought in to help restore peace to the city. In Nepal, rescue workers continue to pull survivors from the rubble. Saturday, the country suffered a 7.8 earthquake, the worst earthquake in more than 80 years. More than 4,000 people have lost their lives since the earthquake, and more than 9,000 have been injured. Streets are severely damaged and hospitals are overrun, with many facing surgery and fighting for their lives, all without major resources like electricity. Historical buildings and iconic symbols of Nepal have been demolished. Those remaining are in dire need of food and clean water. In northwest Pakistan, a severe windstorm has killed at least 45 people. More than 200 people were injured. The information minister declared a state of emergency at all hospitals in the province. Sunday's storm brought hail and strong winds, destroying buildings and trees, causing electric power poles to fall. Rescuers rushed victims to hospitals on the flooded roads immediately for treatment. Some residents even carried injured victims on their backs to cars heading to the hospitals. The Pakistani army is said to have sent troops to the area to launch relief operations. Reporting for MTSU's News 3, I'm Shanice Murray.
That was your World in 2 minutes. Thank you, Shanice.
Well, Brandon, I'll tell you what, I'm glad that we live in Tennessee and there isn't the possibility of tornadoes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's pretty high around here sometimes.
You know, and coming up after the break, we have Nicole Fells with that story as well as an outlook on your weather.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. You know, but it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, you know, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello? That's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
Kids will spend 8 minutes decorating their little brother.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
How you doing? My name's Steve. My family's lived in this neighborhood for years. Recently, things got so tight, we had to go to our local food bank for help. I lost a lot of sleep worrying about what the neighbors might think. That is until I saw them there, too. How'd I do, Steve?
A little stiff. You could have done a little better.
What? Come on. You know, I have an Academy Award.
Yeah, but not for playing me.
Play a role in ending hunger. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank.
The school year's winding down, but tornado season in Middle Tennessee is actually heating up. That's why we asked MTSU students who've lived through severe weather emergencies for some advice on how to prepare for this dangerous time of year.
When most people think of tornadoes, they probably think about the Midwest and Tornado Alley, not Middle Tennessee.
I thought that this was going to be like a really tame area as far as weather, and boy was I wrong.
So it might surprise you to find out that Tennessee has the second highest rate of tornado deaths in the country. That's according to a study done by the Southeast Regional Climate Center at the University of North Carolina, which analyzed tornado activity from the past 30 years. So what can you do ahead of time to protect yourself from severe weather and tornadoes?
Make sure you have some jugs of water, because if the tornado does come, you could be trapped for several hours. Also, have some food, a flashlight, and maybe an emergency radio.
And if you're ever under a severe weather or tornado warning,
you have to be worried about it, but you can't panic so much that you don't know what to do anymore. You've got to stay calm during a situation like that.
take it seriously.
Now, tornado season in the southeast lasts from March through May, and May is actually one of the busiest months for tornadic activity. Thankfully, today is not looking super tornadic. If we take a look at our headlines, you can see that today and throughout the rest of the week, we will be cloudy with periods of rain. Now, we are having also cooler temperatures, which are contributing to those rain clouds. However, we will be warming up this weekend. Along with those warm temperatures, we also will be having another chance for storms next week. If we look at our live camera from downtown Murfreesboro on the square, you can see those clouds up in the sky, pretty shady outside. However, there is still a little bit of sunshine coming down, hitting the clock tower, so you know it's not too bad out there right now. Taking a look at our current conditions around town, you can see our temperature is sitting at about 64 degrees with a slight wind, a little cool outside, humidity sitting at 46, so maybe a little uncomfortable, but not too bad. We're taking a look at our almanac. Our high for today is 66 degrees, which is quite a bit lower than normal. You see that's regularly about 74 degrees. However, our low for today is also lower than normal at 49. Not too much lower than normal though at 51 is what we normally have this time of year. You see our sunset is at 7:31, so you've got plenty of time to take in this pretty decent weather and enjoy those cooler temperatures before the warmer ones come later this week. Taking a look around our area, you can see the temperatures are pretty consistent throughout the mid-state. We don't actually have a reading from Murfreesboro, which is pretty inconvenient seeing as that's where we're at. But if you look around us, it's 64 Nashville, 64 Lewisburg, pretty much the same throughout the area there. If we look at the state in general, consistent temperatures throughout the area. 70 in Huntsville, so quite a bit warmer. You'll see those temperatures coming up north this way as the week goes on. You can see the rest of the southeast pretty consistent, similar all the way around. And we're going to take a look at the radar. You see we've got showers to our southwest. Those will be headed this way. That's where our chance of rain comes in later this week. As of right now in our area, though, you can see clear skies, nothing going on around here, at least at the moment. So taking a look at our 7-day forecast, you can see today we've got that 20% chance of showers. Nothing really going on right now. Probably will head in later this evening. Looking at the rest of the week, you see we have more chances of showers tomorrow and Thursday, with the highest chance on Thursday. However, that will be clearing up for your weekend as temperatures rise throughout the weekend and continue to get even warmer next week. A little bit of rain possibilities on Sunday and Monday, but not too bad. So you will have plenty of time to enjoy the sunshine before your finals, after your finals, and graduation coming up next week. Thank you guys. Back to the desk.
Coming up, James O'Keefe will give us a look at MT baseball over the weekend.
That and more ahead in sports. Stay with us.
Brush, brushy, brush, brushy, brush, brush your teeth. Every day and every night. Brush, 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 brush. Now it's your parents' turn. Here's what you gotta do. Let them have your toothbrush so that they can brushy brush your teeth. Good job, you're almost done. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. Help your teeth stay healthy. Brushy brush with a grown-up every day.
A single ember that escapes from a wildfire can travel more than a mile. That single ember can ignite and destroy your home or even your community. You can't control where that ember will land, only what happens when it does. Get Fire Adapted now at fireadapted.org.
All right, give me a spot. You know my motto, safety first.
They could be dangerous. I think we should call animal control.
Animal control?
To be safe.
Don't worry.
Just...
I got this. It's a new motto.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
If you're looking for a fun new friend, What a day. Shelters are the best places to find one.
You say?
Uh-huh. There you'll discover healthy, happy, loving animals.
Nothing but the best.
Waiting to become a part of your family. A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt.
We'll always be the best of friends.
To find out more, visit theshelterpetproject.org.
We had a little baseball over the weekend, and we'll have a little bit more this week and tonight, Jeremy.
Well, dude, that's definitely what's up, because I'm definitely looking forward to see what our Blue Raiders can do against David Liscombe. But now we head over to James O'Keefe with sports.
Thanks, guys. Middle Tennessee has some solid pitching, but the hitters couldn't muster up enough offense as your Blue Raiders split the doubleheader against Marshall Sunday. MT had a 3-game series against Marshall over the weekend and came out hot, winning the opener of the doubleheader Sunday with a score of 2-1. After losing the first game on Friday, Nate Hoffman was the hero in the opener as he stymied the Thundering Herds bats through 6 innings. To win, Hoffman pitched 6 shutout innings, struck out a career-high 7 batters, and scattered 4 hits. Through the first 4 innings, he only allowed 1 hit, a bunt single. Even with those losses, Middle Tennessee, who's 24-19, remained tied for the lead along with Florida Atlantic in Conference USA play. Next game is tonight at Lipscomb. First pitch is at 6 p.m. Now going over to Smashville, the Nashville Predators accomplished a lot this season. Returned to the playoffs after a 2-year hiatus. Young stars like Philip Forsberg and Colin Wilson all took steps forward in being competitive in the playoffs without star player Shea Weber. Is that enough to get past the Chicago Blackhawks? We'll find out. The Predators were on fire, scoring 3 goals in the first minutes of the first period. This game couldn't have started out any crazier, with each team collecting 3 goals in the first period. After that, no one would score again until Blackhawks defenseman Duncan Keith scored this deciding goal with 3:48 left in the third period. That right there ended the Preds season. Players came home yesterday to clean out their lockers. Now going to the hardwood with Memphis. The Grizzlies couldn't complete the sweep against the Portland Trailblazers last night in the NBA playoffs. In a go big or go home type game for the Portland Trailblazers, they played lights out and avoided elimination with a 99-92 victory over the Grizzlies. Star player point guard Damian Lillard refused to let the Blazers die, scoring a playoff career high of 32 points and 7 assists. The Grizzlies got some production from all over the floor, but they just fell short. 5 players scored in double figures, led by Marc Gasol's 21 points. The series continues in Memphis for Game 5 on Wednesday. And now the biggest thing going on in sports, every year or so, a fight comes along that transcends boxing. Saturday's clash is such a fight. All sports fans will finally get the answer to who's boxing's true welterweight king. Anticipation continues to build as we edge closer to the super fight between Floyd Money Mayweather and Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao. Pacquiao is an attacking fighter with lightning hand speed, capable of landing incredible combinations. Mayweather is still a defensive genius whose shoulder roll technique makes him hard to hit. With both guys well into their 30s, you can see signs of slowing down in their fighting styles. It makes for an intriguing battle. For the first time in the last decade, we can look at both fighters and spot weaknesses the other might exploit. At the end of the day, it comes down to who has a stronger chin to withstand the grueling punishment from the other, either undefeated Money Mayweather or Pac-Man. If you can't make it to MGM Grand Casino in Las Vegas Saturday to view the fight, you can always order it pay-per-view for $99. Thanks for coming and tuning in today. This is James Carey. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you for joining us here on News 3. I'm Jeremy Inslee. We hope you can join us next semester.
Signing off for the last time this semester, I'm Brandon Moore.
White Squad!